Hey y'all, it's Monday and today I want to talk about the Grenfell Fire. For those of you who don't know, last week in London there was a fire in a building called the Grenfell Tower that spread through pretty much the entire building and engulfed it all in flames and destroyed everything, including anyone who was still in the building. There's been a lot of public anger over this, and I want to talk a little bit about that. And it falls mainly into two categories. One, there's a lot of anger from people who believe that this fire was entirely preventable, or at least the spread of the fire was entirely preventable, and that people need to be held to account for that. And the second category of anger is about the response after the fire. So first of all, in terms of being preventable, there are records of residents raising issues with the building in terms of fire safety and even warning that there could be a catastrophic event such as this, and they were ignored. There's issues with that, and a lot of the anger has focused particularly around cladding that was added to the building in recent years. There was material added to the outside of the building to make the building look nicer to rich residents nearby, not to the actual residents of the building, who are primarily poor, working class people, many of them migrants, many of them minority backgrounds. This material was added. There were two different options for the cladding that was added. One of those materials is fireproof, like completely fireproof, and the other option was not fireproof but was cheaper, and they chose to go with the cheaper, not fireproof option. So there's a lot of anger that was what happened, and a lot of people believe that this is the reason that the fire spread so much, because in a building such as this, the building is meant to be designed such that the fire stays in basically one flat, and the fire brigade will get there and put it out before it spreads anywhere else. That's what's supposed to happen, and that is not what happened. But people were told to stay in their flats because that's what's supposed to happen, because it's designed that way, because getting somebody down from, for example, the 24th floor, and out of the building, people clearing out the entire building is very difficult in a fire, because you have to take the stairs, and not everyone would necessarily be able to do that. They might not be able to handle that in a rush, and so it's supposed to protect those people, and it didn't. Instead, it put a lot of people at risk, and a lot of people died because of it. So there's that anger, and then there's anger about the response from the government. There's anger about death toll numbers that originally came out with, I think about 10 people they said died. The number is currently at 79 officially, but a lot of residents are saying that number even is too low, and people are speculating that it could be in the hundreds. But the government has been really slow to raise that number, and people believe that that's because the government's responsible for the fire spreading, and people are angry about that. There's also anger about the response in terms of survivors of the fire. Some people have been housed places without any water. People in buildings nearby have been told they have to move back, and they're not being housed anywhere, but they don't have hot water, and there hasn't been a risk assessment for pollution, for falling debris. There's a lot of issues, and people are just being sent back in there without adequate support. A lot of people are really angry at the council, and they feel like they're being treated that way because they are poor and from minority backgrounds, and many of them migrants. So there's a lot of issues here. There's links below to more information. Stay awesome, y'all. Bye!